Alright, much brew about nothing time. Playing some Alesha Reanimator in Modern. And we'll keep this hand. Pretty reasonable. We have Alesha, which is key. Oh no. Lantern of Insight. Well, actually, I think we're pretty well set up for this matchup. We draw a relatively useless land. So let's play Treetop Village, pass the turn. So the good news here is we have Alesha that reanimates stuff. We have Abrupt Decay, which kills an Ensnaring Bridge. There's Kodak Shredder. And Faithless Looting can do some surprise drawing through our deck. Another Bloodstained Mire on top. Let's play another Treetop Village, pass the turn. Also, Huntmaster is pretty sweet if we can just keep flipping it back and forth. Opponent has a Thought Seize. Well, that's a bit annoying. Can take our Alesha, probably. I assume that's what our opponent will take here. They could take Huntmaster, I guess, but Alesha seems most likely. Takes Abrupt Decay. So this likely means our opponent has... a Ensnaring Bridge that's about to come down. Or they're going to tutor it up. Let's get a Blood Crypt. Untapped. Another land on top. Get our Alesha out there. Unfortunately, we can't actually activate Alesha next turn. And Faithless Looting. Opponent mills themselves. Pyxis of Pandemonium. And Lantern. So our opponent's empty-handed. They just need to be able to find... Well, let's get in with Alesha. They just need to find an Ensnaring Bridge before we kill them. Well, let's crack Bloodstained Mire. Get another Blood Crypt, untapped, and just run out our Huntmaster of the Fells. The good news is we have a lot of pressure on our opponent, so they're going to need to find this Ensnaring Bridge pretty quickly. They're going to make us draw an Inquisition next turn. They have a Glimmer Void on top. There's Glint Nest. They found a bridge, so they get the bridge down next turn. Opponent mills themselves. Oh, mills us. So Forest on top. Well, let's Faithless Looting. Discard Forest. Actually, no. Discard Bloodstained Mire. No. Discard Mountain and Swamp. Play Bloodstained Mire. Crack Bloodstained Mire. Get a Stomping Grounds. Untapped. Fire up Treetop Village. Attack with everything. Opponent drops to 7. So the good news here is, next turn, we can just Eternal Witness back our Abrupt Decay, kill Ensnaring Bridge, and beat down our opponent. We draw a useless land, so play a Forest, play Eternal Witness. Opponent mills themselves. Opponent exiles. So now our opponent needs to find another Ensnaring Bridge. So Eternal Witness gets back Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay kills Ensnaring Bridge. Then we get to attack with everything. And we still have a Grizzly Salvage and a Faithless Looting in hand. And our opponent's at 2, so theoretically, we don't even care about Ensnaring Bridge. All we gotta do is pass the turn and flip Huntmaster and we win. Mills a land, mills a land, mills a land, shuffles. Alright, they found the Ancient Stirrings. So our opponent's gonna try to use Ancient Stirrings to find a bridge. If they find a bridge, they're still sort of in the game, but they're not really in the game. Yeah, they were dead even through a bridge there because of Huntmaster, so we would just pass our next turn even if we couldn't attack and win with Huntmaster. So that went pretty well. Against this deck, so we have Shatterstorm, Ancient Grudges, and Surgical Extraction, I think. Because we could extract Ensnaring Bridge, and that's our opponent's most important card, and they can keep getting it back. Master of Cruelties is actually kind of funny because it's a 1/4. I think we go down Lightning Bolts. We don't really need Creature. Well, actually, Lightning Bolt stays over Terminate. Terminate has to go down. Anything that only kills creatures is no good in this matchup. We're actually pretty well set up for this. We have a bunch of discard. We have 3 Abrupt Decays. We have 2 Kolaghan's Command. Now we get Ancient Grudges and more sideboard stuff. So, are we playing 61 cards? Apparently we are. Jund Charm doesn't do much. I guess we just keep another Bolt. Try it like that. Not sure why this deck's playing 61. Alright. Well, this hand's okay. It's not great, but it's reasonable. We have Grizzly Salvage, which is pretty helpful. We have a Bojuka Bog to randomly get our opponent's graveyard, which could be relevant. And we have Alesha. Alright, Ghoulcaller's Bell for our opponent. Ooh, Abrupt Decay helps. So, Bloodstain, Mire, Pestered. I feel like we just are really set up to beat Lantern Control. Like, this seems like a good matchup for us. Opponent has Inquisition. Yep, gets to take something. They might have to take, yeah, Abrupt Decay, because we could kill Ghoulcaller's Bell and they lose their land. We'll sack Bloodstain Mire. Get a Blood Crypt. Tapped. Then let's just play a Forest, pass the turn. This lets us Grizzly Salvage. Hopefully start stocking our graveyard for Alesha. And our opponent's helping us along the way. Mills a Lantern from their deck, and a land from our deck. There's Ensnaring Bridge. So we're not going to be able to attack until we get rid of that. But our opponent is just kind of milling randomly now, which isn't very good. Oy. Alright, well, we'll take Huntmaster. Mill, Grizzly Salvages, and Maelstrom Pulse. There's Abrupt Decay. Well, if I had known we were going to draw Abrupt Decay, I probably would have done this differently, but let's play a Forest, play Alesha, pass the turn. Opponent has Ancient Stirrings, looking for their Lantern of Insight. And they found a Spellskite. That's a bit annoying because it does protect their Ensnaring Bridge from our first Abrupt Decay. But they still can't really see what they're doing, which is a benefit to us. And that's an Eternal Witness. It's actually an interesting decision. We can just run out Huntmaster, but it can't attack. And then next turn we could Abrupt Decay. Alright, actually, let's just Bojuka Bog. Get rid of our opponent's Lantern in their graveyard. That might have been wrong. Alright, let's just pass the turn. So I think what we're setting up is Abrupt Decay, then Ensnaring Bridge. Opponent redirects to Spellskite. Then we witness back. That makes it harder. Well, let's Abrupt Decay and Ensnaring Bridge. There goes our Eternal Witness, though. Wow, our opponent lets it die? They keep their Spellskite? Ancient Stirrings. That is a interesting choice. They get a Lantern. Their problem here is we just get to attack and get back Eternal Witness, which gets back Abrupt Decay. We draw a land, Bolt on top. Well, let's play Stomping Grounds, untapped. Attack with Alesha. Get back Eternal Witness. Eternal Witness. Get back Abrupt Decay. Opponent blocks Alesha. And now let's just pass. Opponent's going to mill. Alright. They found a Glint Nest, so Glint Nest can let our opponent dig for another bridge. Ooh, Crucible of Worlds. Interesting. Crucible goes to the bottom, though. We have a Surgical Extraction on top, which our opponent can't let us draw. They have a Surgical Extraction on top. So if they mill, though, they're going to mill their Surgical Extraction as well. If they let us draw Surgical Extraction, we just get rid of Bridge forever. So they have to mill their Surgical Extraction, even though I'm pretty sure they want it to get rid of our Abrupt Decays. But they just don't have a choice here. Alright, that's good. We get a PN Karen. Reasonable. Opponent passes. We have a Faithless Looting on top. Nothing to reanimate. So 1, 2. Let's play Wooded Foothills. And play key in Karen. Make some tokens, pass the turn. No sense in attacking here. Opponent has good blocks. Opponent's gonna mill. We don't mind Faithless Looting in the graveyard. They actually can set up the Master of Cruelties for next turn. Ooh, our opponent found a bridge, though, which is a bit troubling. Opponent mills, sure. They're not going to play the bridge? Or they're going to attack first? Alright, well, let's crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. Another land on top. Ooh, there's Kolaghan's Command on top. Well, I think we Faithless Looting here. So red, green. Our opponent might just be giving up on this game. Faithless Looting. Opponent lets us draw it. Oh, we have so much removal now. And our opponent scoops it up. Yeah, they just can't beat us. Well, that seems like a super, super good matchup for us. Yeah, sweet.